Welcome back to Threshold of Revelation. This is session 55 entitled Kingdom's End. Last session, the group continued their frivolous fight with the King of Six. They defeated him in a fashion. They've learned that their spectral nature is not as tethered to their corporeal one as one would like. The King of Six was capable of removing them from their bodies with a touch. After pummeling the crap out of his physical and his spiritual body, the King of Six moved towards the tomb, where his body was laid in state, pushed it open, and then descended down a set of steps behind slash underneath it. Um, the group finished off the last of the centaur mummies and then worked together to ensure that Silas was able to re-enter his body. A number of the group have been afflicted with mummy rot, but they have a choice to make after a few moments pass. Ezekiel shrinks back down to normal size. The blessings from the sorcerer end, and they have to decide whether or not they wish to progress forward or exit the tomb.
I said go forward.
Exiting the tomb would end the campaign completely, right?
No, you would have some final. You would have some final bits of narrative. Again, I have story bits. There's really not going to be fighting in either direction. It's just going to be narrative beats. But either way, you're leaving this place. So it just depends on.
I think some curtains. We can make this place a home. New drawer pulls. What do you say, Uther? You got a ladder?
I mean, whether we go in
Give me
or
time,
back,
I'll make a teleportation circle down here. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, give him a year.
whether we leave or
We're
go
talking
in, we
for a year
gotta, we
now.
gotta seal the tomb though, because like ultimate evil or whatever is supposed to be down there.
I don't know who exactly's down there.
Something that this eternally alive thing was supposed to be
bad
guarding.
is what I gather.
Important enough that it needed an immortal guard.
I'll take his place. Let's get in there.
Oh my god, that's dark.
Little swapsies.
He's like, well, someone's got to do it, and I ain't got nothing better to do. At least I won't be dying every other week.
I have loads better to do.
All right. I mean, I guess maybe.
I vote go in.
I would vote short rest if we're gonna go in. Some of you guys are pretty
It
asses
really won't
kicked.
help the ones.
Can't heal.
Can nobody here cure mummy rot?
I don't see a paladin.
Unless we want to kill them ourselves and catch them raised dead.
Is there a soul well here?
Actually, very
I
interesting
vote-
story. Bad choice, because
I vote no
Fine.
for that.
I believe mummy rot says when they die they turn to dust.
Oh, that's great.
I've got to double check, but I'm pretty
But
sure.
that's fine. Our guys don't need bodies to go back.
No. Raised dead. Raised dead can't bring back dust. The raised dead.
No, but they can just form a new body.
Oh yeah, I know. You'd have to get to a safe. I mean,
A soul well, yeah. That's all, is there a soul well here? Like, are we glowing?
Your video
Oh.
game is showing, John.
silence you.
You'd
Don't-
have to get to a checkpoint.
Gotta get to the checkpoint first. Oh, fucking damn it. But yeah, so this would be a good point to note that there is a soul well activation. It appears to be very, very much kind of keying at this point. It wasn't before the door opened. And if Bodhi's the one who has the lodestar, it is basically like more so than you've ever seen it vibrating inside of its like space. Like it is very much connected to or near a soul well. And yeah, mummy rot only turns them to dust if they have their hit point maximum reduced to 0. However, if they die, they cannot be raised dead because they cannot gain hit points, and they would have to go from 0 to 1 with raised dead. So they would just be dead until over time their body turned to dust due to the mummy rot inside of their corpse.
Not good.
Well, let's all agree that if and when one of us is turned to dust, we turn that dust into gold. Just on principle, it's the right thing to do.
How do we do that?
I think
Gilded.
you have the magic item.
I do. I have guilt. I have
No.
the.
So once you make the ultimate sacrifice,
But how is
So go in there.
Silas carry me?
Ezekiel's like, it's like a dog at the door, like barking at a squirrel.
he's pointing.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, we saw the mummy go in there.
yeah, we know, we fucking know. Love it. But again, you do not have to descend if you do not wish to descend.
You guys want to poke around in here and loot this place before we go?
Okay, so the centaurs had weapons. One was a lance, which just treated as like a long spear. If lance isn't in the book, I don't remember. And then the other one had a massive torch. Yeah, the torch is basically the same size as like a warhammer or a maul, rather, and it can be used as such. But the light that it gives off is similar to the lights in the candles or in the sconces. It's a very kind of strangely bright orange light that kind of gives off a kind of reddish aura compared to just a regular torchlight. Which would
Did
be like
his
the opposite.
weapon maul torch, did it absorb the fire damage like the ones on the wall?
No.
Okay.
But it emits the same kind of strange, eerie light. If you want to take 10 minutes to cast Identify ritually, you can do so.
I mean, we were taking a short rest, so you got time.
If you're taking a short rest, you're taking a short rest. Okay. Is that canon? We doing that?
Do you guys need one?
I mean,
I don't know that I would really benefit. I might get some hit points, but not much.
I feel like it'd be better for us just to go on in and
Yeah.
chase
Not
the
gonna
guy.
The fighter is saying he doesn't want one.
But that's typical.
Well, that's like fighter gets the most out of a short rest of anybody. I
Right.
think.
But like the mage, I believe, also said no, right, Joseph?
Did you not action surge?
Oh, I did. But I
Do I
mean,
get? Do I
with
get
the
that
way
back on
that
the short
talk, it's
rest?
either going to be we go in now and stop him from possibly releasing something, and maybe possibly die, or we don't go in, we rest up here, he definitely releases it, and then we almost for certainly release something that we all die for.
We also have the meta that he said either way we go. It's just narrative.
Yeah, but
It just depended on how
Well,
you
it's a
want to
good
do
or
it.
bad narrative. How bad does the narrative get?
It just
How
depends
bad
on
did
how you
people
do
die?
No, I'm with Brent on this. Let's go blaze
Let's
of glory.
step on
Let's
the
go
gas.
blaze
Let's
of glory.
hustle down
So
there.
you guys know how I operate, right? When it comes to these kind of things, I have a set
Keep them
piece.
feet.
It's about to happen. You can either be there at ground zero, or you can leave it. Like it's gonna happen.
Let's be there.
Okay.
Manhattan Project. I want to taste it.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Let's go ahead and get that.
My mouth is wide open.
Let's get that radium.
Full Oppenheimer.
That
Wow.
delicious radium shit. So you go down the steps and it circles and winds for a time, which would also kind of give you some more like time between, even if you're like right after moving towards the space. You pass through a very strangely familiar looking metallic, kind of gold metal gate that has mechanisms that you've seen before. The architecture here is very indicative of the dragon clockwork architecture you found in the kind of island sandlands where
We don't remember it. We've never seen it before.
yeah, it's from at the
No,
orchid, right?
You didn't remember the space behind it.
Okay.
You remember the stuff before. You were only
We did see the statue.
Yeah.
We don't
Okay.
remember anything
Okay. I
beyond
thought it included
opening the
that too.
door.
So and you still remember fighting those things because that would have been a very hard thing to explain. Why do we have this big ass white stone shield?
Found it.
Found it.
We were
would've
outside.
don't
We
know.
were
I'll tell you
outside
what.
somewhere else with cool shit. I don't know.
definitely led to questions.
We have a rod that makes things gold.
When you get to the door,
Found
the
it.
door is
I need-
already opened.
I need my
So
ladder token.
very simple. Oh, sorry. Of course. I apologize. I forgot the seventh member of the party.
Jeremy's mid-maxing.
Mobile high ground.
This is actually the wrong size. That's better. I said it was 15
Hell
feet
yeah.
long, right?
Yeah.
Yep. You should be able to
We're
move
getting more mileage out of the ladder than we are our flying machine.
it. So, the door is opened. It looks like the mechanism has already been activated. It's been cracked open. It looks like on the opposite side, the state of the structures in the interior are kind of in a state of ruin. The walls around you appear to be made out of stone, but as you look at them more closely, you'll note that they appear to be granular. It's almost like stone has been riven and shaken to a point where it's structurally sand, right? Very sandstone-esque. Like if you walk up to the stone and kind of move your hand across it, it'll be rigid like stone, but parts of it will fleck off and kind of crumble to dust. It looks like inside of this space there is more on the ground ahead of you and kind of on the ceiling as well that looks like it is ancient Sylvan architecture, very old elvish. We're talking like the very kind of primordial elves, the Lachey kind of aspects that are present here. When you enter into this first passageway here, this first space, Ezekiel, you would see that on the left side there looks like a gate that has been mangled, and there are ribbons of tattered kind of basically the mummy parts that look like they're kind of caught inside of the bars of this gate. The gate is still closed, but it does look like there is a space above it that is accessible. Directly in front of you, at the top of these steps, which are also kind of covered in sand and stone, looks like there's a massive vault door. The door is similar to the dragon door that you saw and that you can remember from your fight with the sentries. But it looks like it has a more manual mechanism instead of the clockwork mechanism that was on that door. A lot of stuff happening in the chat that's not happening out loud. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with the
How does the vision give you? How does the ladder give you vision?
It's a
does-
super
well,
ladder.
It doesn't have.
Good fucking ladder, dude.
It doesn't have. It doesn't have vision. It's. You can see the ladder no matter where it is.
That might be it. I moved the ladder. I was like, oh, look cool. I can see around a corner now. It's like putting a mirror on the end of a stick.
The ladder just has like a shit ton of like Swiss Army shit on it. What do I
I'm
need?
gonna check out this thing over here.
Sure. So when you walk over to it, it appears to be a stone structure that looks natural in formation. At the top of it, it has like a swath of glass-like material that is kind of glowing white and yellowish. It seems to kind of create a almost strangely hot-looking effect. But when you kind of look over it and kind of get close to it, there's no heat, other than the fact that you're kind of like, moving quick, I guess. It's not hot down here. But the other thing that you notice about it is when you look at it, it seems to be reflective. There was one that you passed by just like this when you first entered in, over here. And then there's also one near the door.
And it looks like there's one over there.
Yeah, there looks like there's one on the other side of the gate as well. Based on what you can see of the gate, it does look like a mummy body just kind of like ran at it full tilt, hit it, some sand kind of expanded outwards, but it was able to kind of like move through the bars because of, it being a sand and I keep wanting to say ribbons, but what's a mummy covered in?
Linen.
Linens, yeah, linens, bandages, that. Go ahead, Shody.
Is the gate
down or is it just mangled?
So it's a gate that actually opens like a
Can I open it? Is what I'm asking.
It is mangled. It definitely looks like you could pass through it. Opening it is possible, I guess, but
As
it
long as I
definitely.
can get through it,
Yeah,
that's
you can
all.
get. You're strong enough. You're a strong enough lizard man. You could pull the bars astride. You can get through it. Not a problem.
Is that gate ceiling high?
No, it goes up about 10 feet, and the ceiling in this space is about 50 feet.
I got this, guys.
The ladder.
User, you're so damn cool.
Yeah. So
Ladder.
I do not want to catch you off guard with anything, Jeremy, and you are a smart lad, so I just want to make sure you understand. The walls and the ceiling all have that kind of sandstone-like texturing. So if you grab a hold of it, you would be able to cling on to it fine, but it's going to break away and pull.
I couldn't stay still for very long.
You wouldn't be able to move up a wall because, like, the second you grab and like apply weight to the wall is going to kind of break off in bits.
I
Ladder.
hit the wall with my axe.
Yeah, a chunk of sand flies all over the place.
Like a chunk of wall or just
The
sand?
wall breaks.
A wall
it looks
is
like
sand.
stone, and when it hits the ground, it splatters into dust.
Wish we would have done that.
It's like stucco.
It's
We
like
have to
it's like
breathe.
succo. That is an astute analogy.
Goddamn stucco.
I'm gonna pass out some healing
Stucco
potions.
does
while
suck.
I'm picking up.
That stucco's the worst.
Who can't heal? It was Brent and
I
Andy?
can't heal. Yeah. But I could heal
Okay.
others. Who needs
Oh.
healing too? I got heals.
No. I'm passing out healing potions. I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Jeremy, Joseph, Chody, each take 2 regular healing potions.
I think I know how to heal things.
Uther, when you kind of move over to this other side, you see there's a small alcove over here. It looks like there is a metal structure that looks like it's made out of black metal laying on the ground. And it looks like there's kind of glowing parts, like the glass surfaces of the tops, that's kind of on it. From this distance, it looks like a tilted over, like, candle stand made out of some sort of black metal. And then it has, instead of candles, it has these shards of the kind of glowing glass bits.
If we're making this a home, we're going to need decoration.
Well, for sure. And then at least you've got the one thing to start with, you know. You start with a lamp, you start with a potted plant, you're good. You got something, you know, it's foundational.
I am moving cautiously toward the candles.
Perfectly fine. You'd also note that there's a passageway this way, and based on what you can see, it does look like that was the more than likely direction that the mummy went to. As you move into that space and kind of move towards that panel, I want to know what the other 4 are doing.
I'm coming.
You just kind of
I'll
crank
go-
some bars
yeah,
and make your way through.
I left you a ladder, you heathen.
You also
Following closely behind Silas because I'm afraid.
Okay. And when you came over with the ladder, did you leave the ladder on one side or did you
On
pull
their
it?
side.
Okay.
I can just walk down the gate. It's not made of
So
sand.
you 2 come through, and then Sanat and Bodhi, are you still inspecting this? Ezekiel, you're inspecting the door?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
So
gonna stand on the ladder, just sort of keep an eye on both parties if I could.
okay. There are sylvan markings
Slither my way up
I
the
was like,
rung.
I'm gonna step up here, look at this vault door too.
on the door. Sylvan writing is very. The only real world analogy I can kind of make to it would be like kanji, or like the characters in kind of many Asian languages, like I believe Mandarin also has similar structures. It's basically like a pictograph that's very large and kind of purposeful, instead of it just being like one like sound that's kind of elucidated by a mark. Instead, it is kind of like the whole structure kind of creates a word or even a sentence for purpose. And what you notice as you approach it, Sanat, I presume you speak Sylvan or no? You do?
I mean, I speak Elvish. I don't know.
Okay, so Elvish is kind of more like
I don't remember that being an
a
option on
language
this, but-
based. Fair enough. It definitely is because I think Bodhi has it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's definitely a structured language that comes from that as a root point. You can kind of get some kind of edge to a meaning on the larger kind of bulk markings, but you're also very understanding that this is not pure Sylvan. What you see is a character, and then set inside of it as its main kind of like denotation, instead of there being a Sylvish kind of marker. Instead, there's a draconic rune that's placed in each lettering that's placed here. So instead of just being Sylvan, it's a fusion
Well, I
of
do speak Draconic.
Sylvan and
I
Draconic.
speak both of those.
I was like, I do speak Draconic.
The
And
Draconic
I'm up here surfing a ladder.
The draconic aspect for you is a bit strange in that it's runic, but because you speak the language, you're able to tell what they mean. There are a total of 15 of these characters inside on the wheel, on side of the vault door, I guess, the vault spinny thing.
Block
What is it?
mechanism.
The mechanism.
I don't
yeah.
know.
I don't know what the wheeled thing on a vault door is called, because I'm dumb. But there are 15 markers.
The actual vault, isn't it?
Well, like yeah, the spinning door mechanism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Like
got a
the
name,
spring door
probably.
too.
The door handle. The door handle has markings on it. The 15 markers.
Lever or knob?
It's like a wheel. It's like a.
I'll
It's like a
turn with you.
boat
Continue.
cap. God damn it. 15 markers. The 15 markers
Indeed.
indicate one of each of the matriarchs of dragonkind. This is also kind of a key indicator for time cycles in the draconic calendar. And as you kind of extrapolate out from there, you realize that the characters of the Sylvan markings are indicative of the 12 zodiac months, and then the highest of the zodiac, Varwin, the elvish kind of lord of time, Bickaveria, the high lady of the seasons, and then the duality of the North Star and the Dark Star, or North Star is instead the Bright Star, which is the child of the Lord of Time and nature. But there are 15 markers instead of like a typical calendar, which would have 12, or a typical clock, which would have 12.
So this door handle spins, right?
It does indeed.
Can I spin it?
You sure can. So
I
when
would like
you
to
spin it, it starts so that it is categorically 12 and then 3. And then the 3 in their order will basically progress upward. The star, the bright star, dark star, duality, seasons, and then the Lord of Time. When you spin it, are you just spinning it randomly to let it land on a spot?
Yeah.
Roll a d15.
That's so fucking Brett.
I said what I said. You can roll whatever. You can roll d1s.
Oh, we rolled a 50.
So that it would spin until it ultimately gets to the last position, which would be the Lord of Time. When it does, it seems to click
Good
when
job.
it settles.
Well done.
Heck yeah.
I don't know if that's good.
Well, we're finding out.
I'm like, I don't really.
I think John Pro.
No, I'm not. I'm just waiting.
I'm just teasing it. I'm
Oh, can I
I-
push it?
No. I mean, you can, but it doesn't do anything.
Okay. Does
There's
it like
more than
spin
one. Like, we gotta do it like a
The
second time.
combination.
I'm
a
gonna spin
combination.
it again.
It's a rotary combination.
Before we get to that next bit, if you're going to spin it again, you try to spin it to the right. When you do, you hear what sounds like the sound you heard, but effectively in reverse. Sanat and Ezekiel, since you're both there, go ahead and you can make perception checks. If you have Tinker's Tools as a proficiency, you can add the proficiency bonus again, even if you're already proficient in perception.
22.
Okay. So yeah, it definitely sounded like an unclicking. Like whatever you did, you undid when you spin it again.
You set a pin and then it dropped.
Smart boy there. So we're gonna go ahead and cut to the smart boy real quick. Actually, his brother. We'll deal with the candle.
He's the
real-
smarter one. It's fair.
Oh my gosh. That is a definitely argumentative statement that can be argued both ways. But you get to it. It appears to be made out of adamantine. Uther, you are competent with metalwork into a fashion. I mean, you lived in a community that was, at least. And the shards of glass appear to be the same stuff that was on the kind of stone panels outside. So then, yeah.
You can pick it up.
Okay. It's heavy as hell. but you are able to get it up.
Like how
Crazy.
heavy?
So metal typically weighs like if metal to adamantine is like compared weight wise, it's basically 5 times as much as like steel. So that thing probably weighs a good like 150, 200 pounds. You're able to lift it up, but it's not something you're going to take with you like a ladder or whatever. Says you. I already know what the
My
reply.
carrying capacities are doubled.
So you're like, Silas, get over here.
You must have forgotten I'm a giant person.
Yeah, that's fair. Your strength is still pretty low, though.
Fine.
But yeah, it seems to have been knocked over at a very long like point ago because it when you move it, you can kind of see that the ground has like a accumulation of dust, and it kind of when it moves, you can see the patches of where it was sitting that are
Hit
still
somebody with
clean.
this.
Okay. Anything else that you want to do in that space?
I mean, I'll take a look around. Does anything else jump out at me?
You can make an investigation roll. Silas and Nix, what are you two doing?
Staying near Silas,
Would be-
so hoping he's
yeah.
gonna protect me.
I'd be checking what he's doing and seeing if anything sticks out to me.
Okay. So yeah, it definitely looks like there's kind of a trail kind of heading northwest that the
That's what I'd be. I'd be focused on the trail. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find. the
it
money.
definitely feels like that it went that way. And just as you're kind of getting ready to kind of break away from Uther and kind of look over in that direction, and Nix, you're kind of what'd you say you were doing, Andy? Sorry.
Oh, I'm just like hanging tight on Silas because he's the biggest guy, and I'm so messed up right now.
Yeah. That literally like
Protect me.
there's parts of your dromite like chitin that's like turning into dust.
Yeah, it's bad.
Mummy rot. But Uther, as you're kind of you got it placed, doesn't seem to be related to it. Silas, as you're moving that way, whatever I'm about to say happens doesn't seem to be related to it. It definitely seems just like an awkward situation that'll happen off to that. Bodhi, you're watching both sides, so the thing that's about to happen doesn't appear to be related to what's happening with everyone else. And Ezekiel, after you've spun it the second time, like as it's getting ready to finish spinning, but well before it finishes spinning, so it doesn't seem to be related to that. Everybody feels this pulse that seems to generate from behind the door and kind of push out from the door.
From the north?
Yep, from the door
Okay.
and just out through the space. It seems to go through the stone without an issue. It causes the dust of the walls to kind of fall off quite a bit. But what everybody sees from everyone else, because everyone's able to see someone else, with the exception of maybe Uther, is you see the ghost form of them kind of peel back away from their body for a second and then snap back into their body.
Silas, I'm dying.
It's not like a huge jump, and also for you in your body, if you don't see someone else have it happen to them, you don't even notice anything change.
After it happens, I'm gonna look to so I'm like, don't tell the party I did that.
Do I believe there is a correlation to?
You would know that there does not appear to be a correlation with anything anyone has done. Unless you kind of can't see Uther directly, so it might have been Uther's fault.
I would call out if
Classic.
it seems like he's doing something. We need to get to him quickly. He went this way, and try to bring
Boy.
him in.
Your boy be wandering off.
You said I'd be able to squeeze through the gate, right?
Yeah,
I think the
everybody
ladder
can. Silas,
I
back
think
it
the
up
ladder.
a bit.
Ugh. Perfectly good.
Okay, coming back to that door by the
Well,
way.
it doesn't
anybody
look like the
remember
ladder. Oh, it's over on the side.
Somebody
Okay.
moved it.
I'll take the
We
ladder.
we want. I didn't. I might have moved it by accident. Don't we want to get this door open quickly, or
I mean,
what
we're
is
gonna
Uther
go
got?
I thought
We're
we
going
wanted
up
to
this
get the
way.
mummy.
Big candle.
Go northwest. Go northwest.
Okay.
What
I
else did you
figured
say
it
was
was
back
behind
here,
that door.
John? Nothing.
Big candle. What'd you get on the investigation? 16? Yeah,
16.
doesn't seem to be anything else that's really noteworthy.
I was
All right. If we're not gonna force that door, I picked up the ladder again. It was totally me the first time.
I got it.
It's
As you press through, you find that it will be very difficult for the ladder to make its way through. just because there's some curvature here, and you're kind of moving it around at an angle. You can certainly try, but it will take some time. So just let me know if you're trying to move the ladder through or
How
not.
high is the ceiling?
Inside of this cavern structure, it's only about 7 feet high.
Yeah, let it come with me.
Well,
Okay.
scratch this.
I need it.
So, Ezekiel, as you kind of take the front and are looking over your shoulder, waiting for the others to kind of follow behind, and Uther, as you're kind of finagling it through, another pulse happens in this space, and before you get in to see what the generation of it is. And all of you are close enough to one another to see that it's kind of peeling your soul out of your body for a moment. This time it kind of shoots out a bit further out from you when it does it. And it also creates kind of this, almost like when you snap back, it's, everybody in here has probably had stars around your eyes. You've been in a state where you've like been dazed, right? It's kind of like that kind of almost tunnel-like vision, with like a kind of glaze around the exterior of your field of vision. Ezekiel, you come out to a structure that looks like it's very massive. The sound of falling sand is all you can hear now. The people behind you do not seem to create sound at all anymore. And as you kind of press through, you can see that this structure has been knocked out onto the structure in front of you. And you can see what looks like the remnants of the mummy here.
Okay.
The thing in the middle appears to be some sort of orrery, and inside of the orrery is a massive pearl that's covered with sylvan markings. Inside of this space, it appears that the sand is falling from above in an endless fashion. And as you kind of look at the space you are in, it almost feels like you're in a very similar chamber to the dragon clockwork. Oh, you never went in. You do not remember shit.
Yep.
This does not feel immediately familiar, but there's a strange sense in the back of your head that this is familiar.
Gotcha.
I have no memory of this place.
The
The
pearl.
mummy wraps.
Yep, and it looks like it's the body of the mummy completely just broken apart.
Great map, though. Great map, by the way.
Thanks. Not
Really
mine.
nice.
This is Beku again, once again. This is their latest
Good job,
map.
John.
Very good. It's not me.
But you drew it so well.
No. So the orrery in the center looks like it has a very strange distortion on the interior. Looks like it's distorting the strange massive pearl. There are 3 other orreries off to the sides. that
Liz is
hold-
saying it's not a pearl.
What's that?
Liz is saying it's not a pearl.
This here in the center is a pearl. That's what it is in the center. That's what I'm
What he's
Saying
saying
it
is, yeah,
right there in the center. It is a pearl.
it's been a huge clamp.
And it
On
looks
the way
like-
to really tell me if I touch it. So.
Oh, exclamation point. I understand what she's saying. I get you. Because the last time I used pearls in narrative, it related to, similarly, this is that also. But maybe not. We'll see. Okay.
Okay.
The markings on the ground are very ancient and elvish, or Sylvan more specifically, kind of primordial. I believe the correct terminology is, let me check my notes here. Bear with me here for a second. I'll come back to it later. Okay. Very ancient and old. It looks like a lot of gold is present here. It looks like a lot of structural damage from time and decay. This pearl, these pearls on the exterior actually, don't look like they are as sound as the one in the center. There are cracks that are present. The one on the left you can see is actually broken open, and on the interior it looks like there are gears and cogs and kind of clockwork material inside of it. But here's the space that you stand in. Ezekiel, since you're the first one on the scene, as you're kind of standing over it, there's this strange echoing effect that happens where you're standing, and you can hear the guy you chased in here's voice. It seems to just be saying the same thing over again and over again, but it's like very like quiet, and it seems like it's very far away. And it just says, Atma, please entreat me. Atma, please entreat me.
This is probably the dumbest idea I've ever had in my entire time.
Hang on.
but,
Are
I
you
would
sure?
like to. That's fair.
You're setting the bar, mister.
I would like to. I would like to touch the pearl if I can.
So yeah,
Just lick it. Lick it.
the orrery
Next.
distance is about like a good 3 or 4 feet, and as you kind of put your hand into that space, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, reflex save. This guy doesn't even know how the game works.
I'll put bitch right off.
Hot 10, baby.
Okay. You watch as your hand, fingers first, all the way down to the elbow, which would be the furthest you could reach your arm in, just completely turns into sand. And as you kind of extract it outwards, there's a moment where you can see the spectral form of your ghost hand kind of coming away from the touch. And then as you kind of look to it, blood starts shooting out of the stump that you now have.
Oh God!
Take 38 points of damage. And also, you no longer have your dominant hand.
Oh shit!
Damn.
He didn't say which hand.
So.
Is it a
I'm
clean
sorry,
foot?
sorry,
I want
sorry.
to do something else
you know
while my
what?
hand was in there.
Zach, great
He
point.
could be a southpaw.
Great point. That is a great point. I do not want to force something based on my
I
presumptions.
like the southpaw.
Southpaw
Thank
was
you.
a very good joke. I definitely
Thank
think it's
you.
worth inspiration, but I'm going to give it to Brett because of his current state of being.
Can you say more about like what happened to the stump? Is it like cauterized?
So
Or
no.
is it-
His
It's certainly
hand at
bleeding
the
like
tip
it's not.
turned into sand, and all of the hand that passed through the orrery turned into sand and just dissipated, basically leaving an open wound because
Open
it was
wound.
cleanly removed. And then
Okay.
after a fashion, when he moved it back, the stump just started shooting blood out of it.
Oh God!
So, like, the armor on that hand also
Gone.
got. Okay. All right.
Hey, we
That
can't
will change
heal
what
you.
I have plans for.
But I do want to make sure you know that I'm going to give you a manner of discourse here. I want to make sure that you are the one who chooses the arm that you put in there. Southpaw
Right,
is
you
an
have
insanely good joke.
armspiration.
Armspiration is what we're doing. So did you put your dominant hand? Would you have gone with your lead hand, or would you have gone with your offhand to see if you could touch it?
Oh, yeah. Ezekiel would have immediately went with his right hand, just
Okay.
right onto it.
I love that. That's great for you. So you've got your shield arm, but your sword hand is
Yep.
gone.
Yeah. Well, I can't regain hit points, right? Because I have Mummy Rot.
Correct. So after it bleeds for a bit, oh god. Okay, you're not dying. So you kind of quickly kind of staunch it, and as you do, you can see that the mummy rot actually kind of causes a bit more of it to decay at that point, and the blood kind of just stops flowing in that region of the arm. So the stump of it is actually kind of rotted and withered, and the blood is like that was in the arm and remaining there, shot out of it like maybe a good 3 seconds of just anime effect all over the ground. Any blood that shot into the orrery, those of you who were like watching in horror, you would have noticed that it dissipated into sand and kind of fell through and kind of descended down into the depths. So the
Okay.
blood kind of like
We're gonna
sprayed
need
in.
to amputate the rest of that dude.
As I see it, I look back at my tail and it's like, don't worry, it comes back in time.
I know I could trust myself. So, whenever I looked at my ghost form, like for the second it was in there,
Yeah.
did it look like anything was happening to the ghost form?
No, ghost form's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna take off my armor and my weapons and stuff,
Okay.
and I'm going to jump into the orb.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Fuck is going on?
Oh boy.
I'm gonna fight him for whatever he's trying to do.
I don't know.
The ghost guy went in, right?
It does not look like that's the case.
Oh,
My God.
His body's outside.
I thought like his
You
ghost
want to
form went in
rethink
there is what I was
your
thinking.
strip down?
Wait, his body's outside?
So,
We don't see where he is. We hear him nearby.
Oh.
Well, my
um,
idea was I was
he's
gonna
saying
touch the
Atma.
pearl
No, this
and
is
see if I could like
this is interesting.
convince whoever he's
He
fighting.
must
to
be in the
mine.
lava.
This is interesting. This is interesting enough.
Damn.
I do think it's interesting enough. So you watch as Ezekiel starts shedding his garments and shedding his
No.
armor. Sanat, you're right there. Silas, Nix, you're kind of keeping behind Silas and like probably watching.
Can we say like, no, Ezekiel? No.
Yeah, he's not able to get all of his stuff off in a second, so he's not able to
Yeah.
just jump out there without being
Don't
kind
do
of
it.
dissuaded.
Do a flip.
he's not like like, and all his clothes fly off, and he's just like jumping in. And, like,
Silas, I think he's in shock.
He's gonna be even slower to undress with that arm missing.
It's missing a hand.
Yeah.
The
So
buckles are gonna
messy.
get hell.
You can't get all the buckles on.
double the doffing time for the armor. Yeah,
Absolutely,
I
at
agree.
least.
I agree. At least double.
So somebody bigger than me could drag him away from the death orb.
All right.
Yeah. See, my thought process was
Holy
if I could hear
smokes.
him, and the ghost form wasn't affected, then I could go in and be like, "Hey, no, don't listen to that guy. I'm cooler."
I'll help you get your armor.
You know,
off.
Grab him
You
by
did
the
a-
scruff,
All right.
neck.
I
you
got the
did some
buckles
important
for you.
experiments.
Thanks,
we
man.
appreciate it.
You are
No.
not helping him take his armor off.
No, you're not.
I am helping him take his armor off. The boy made a choice.
Damn it.
So, Uther, you start helping Ezekiel take his armor off, and
Don't
Ezekiel
do
is
it.
kind of like determined, looking,
It's
but
gonna
like
take a few minutes.
also in pain. Just because of narrative effect, like he's under half hit points, he's technically bloodied. So what we'll just kind of describe is the stump is like dried up and kind of emulsified, like it's been kind of dehydrated to an effect by the mummy rot, but it's still like dripping a bit, just to make it kind of understandable how. I don't think there'd be much pain, right? Like.
Yeah, I feel like it would just kind of it disappeared immediately almost. So it's kind of like
it tingled, right? It
It's
just
gonna
Yeah.
be gross because there's like flesh and fur and blood and part of it's sand,
no.
all in some like.
No,
mess.
nothing made physical contact. It just disappeared and
Yeah.
turned into
Really?
dirt.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
basically like everything from it's kind of hard to see, but like everything from this point forward.
So it's a clean cut.
Yeah.
Huh.
Not so much a cut, it's like that part vaporized, right? And the sand went into the pearl, like the pearl area. It didn't go into the pearl, it descended below it. Gravity caught hold of it and it fell. So
Yeah.
then
Hot take. You shouldn't have done that, bud.
well, my thought process, and it was a very one-track mind thought process of
Go touch the thing.
I heard him talk, so I figure if I touch thing, I can talk to what he's talking to, and I can take hopefully control of this conversation because I'm lovable dog guy.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
very
like
one-track
cast-
mind thought.
I'm gonna cast speak with animals to see if what he's saying makes sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Not in this language or the next.
Uther speaks lovable dog.
I would dimension door him out of there, but I don't have a spell slot that
I've heard it in common, but maybe
Also,
not.
he's by wording, you can't dimension door any of your allies because they're all bigger than you.
Oh, I didn't.
Fuck.
Anybody need to know what prestidigitation does?
I forgot. But Sanat, since I want to focus on you for a bit, Joseph, what is Sanat doing as you watch in horror as that happens behind you, but also you were kind of moving to inspect the environs?
I'm just like, okay, so are you helping him take his gear off, or did you stop?
Yep.
I like look at them like you look at a friend that's doing something stupid.
I would use thaumaturgy to yell like really loud to Ezekiel. Don't do it. Stop.
I'm gonna
Stop,
ask,
Ether.
I'm gonna tell him why do you think that will work?
It's the only
I'm
thing
gonna
I
look
could
at the
do.
mummy's stuff.
Yeah, so
the mummy.
it's the armor,
How do you know that the mummy is there?
it's the robe, or the linens.
The
it's
wrappings of the mummy
wrappings.
was
Wrappings, that's a good word. And then sand. Basically what you would presume is the remnants of the body. And it's very humanoid shaped. So you have the armor, the wrappings, and the sand kind of in
And
a
it looks
human
like
outline.
he just did the same thing that.
No, it looks like it looks like he was like reaching out towards the pearl, but he wasn't. His arm is not gone. He has not been divested of any part of him. It's like a perfect like humanoid outline. That's hand is kind of reaching out from about a foot away from the pearl or the orrery.
I'm gonna sweep it inside of the pearl.
Okay, including the armor.
Yep.
Okay, the armor will turn to dust. The wrappings will turn to dust as they fall through.
I wish it wouldn't have done the armor. But that's fine.
And I want to point something out.
I'm busy. I can't stop you.
Who's here is good with metalworking? It's you, Ezekiel, right?
I'm good at smithing tools.
Yeah. The metal that he
were.
was wearing is orichalcum. Orichalcum is indestructible. When he pushed it through into the orrery, it turned into dust and
Neat.
became nothing.
Man, we should have done that first
Should have warned that.
before a dog hit.
Uther, as you stand next to Ezekiel, and Ezekiel, ever since you stood up here, even now still, the voice echoes. Atma, entreat me. Or please
We
entreat
can-
me.
Like, see an outline of the guy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, not
Or-
anymore. Apparently Silas whipped out a broom, a two-handed weapon. He's got lots.
Oh,
And
Uh,
so we
So
don't know where he is.
tail.
We just hear his voice.
well, if you were standing where Ezekiel was standing, which was basically over the guy's body, yes.
Okay.
But he
He's in his
he has
spirit
not
form.
he has
somewhere.
not made anybody
He
aware of
left
that.
his physical
Yeah.
body.
Uther has been made aware of the voice. It does not sound like he is saying it over and over again. It sounds like it's on repeat. It sounds like the same exact vocalization is being repeated in an echo.
after I as Uther's helping me take my armor off, I'm like, you hear that too, right? Maybe I didn't say the correct phrasing word. Maybe I gotta say that when I go in. You know?
Could be. Who's Akma?
AT.
I have no
Or
idea.
hand.
So out loud, the words "Who is Atma" are said. Does anybody in this group know who Atma is, or do you wish to roll for it?
Oh gosh.
I better not roll for
I
it.
was like, do I have my notes from forever ago? Was that something mentioned in the
Ooh,
town?
we got no
Yes,
takers.
we should know.
We got no takers
Can
shuffling
we wait
through.
a second? Can you
Yeah.
wait like a moment?
I'm like, I don't even know if I still
It's
have
going to be a
it.
history and
Look at
arcana
you two
check, so I
go.
know the arcana's not
Just
going to work.
wait.
Oh, it might, because Sanat's good.
We've
I've
got,
got both
we've
of
got
those.
Sanat for both of those, thank you.
The meme of arcana has no longer.
Give him another snap, Jody.
We drafted a person for that.
There you go. Does that
Okay.
give me it?
Yeah, so Atma's a relatively common terminology that's representative of a symbol, not really a person or a thing. The symbol, it's a circle with 6 extending spiral shapes coming out from it. Basically, it's like the number 6, but like 3 of them kind of connected at the middle. Yeah. It's typically worn by death cultists who just want everything to be destroyed. It's also worn by kind of roving mobs of like psychopaths who just want a cool, edgy reason to be destructive. You can also attempt a religion check with Atma if you wish.
I'll give it a shot.
Come
I was like, I don't have that one. Oh my gosh.
What'd you get?
A
I don't-
6.
Okay.
I was like,
Second-
I mean, I'm not proficient in that, so.
You would know that.
Oh, neither am I, but you should probably roll it instead of me. 'Cause you're
So
clever.
Bodhi, with a 6, you
Plug.
would know that the word Atma, spelled backwards, is Amta,
Uh-huh.
which has nothing to do with this. But you do know that.
Ugh.
If
Oh,
that's-
please tell
if
me you
that's
tell me
6.
that.
I might be able to make something work here.
With a 12 on religion, some people do worship that symbol as if it were some destructive force. You would know that this has kind of connective tissue to the Godhead. And Silas.
Is it related to Ashtar?
Ashtar is one of the 3 gods of the warring triumvirate. Ashtar is good and evil. And then Atavius' order and Bedlam, and then Alwyn is life and death.
Somebody just get inspiration a minute ago when
But
Britt was...
Silas, strangely enough, yeah,
Okay, that worked.
there were several people in Lizardfolk communities that were adjacent to your Lizardfolk community that worshipped Atma, a destructive entity that would bring about the rebirth of this age. It was said,
just children's stories, though.
it was said that he was the being of the past that brought forward the strength of your ancestors forward into the present.
And they had the best food.
Their food
Yeah,
was
he was busy learning to.
their food
fry.
was shit. Actually, they weren't very good at cooking.
Yeah.
The ancestors, they had weaknesses, and you've made them better.
Wow. Okay, Jeremy.
You do not.
Show us up, why
I
don't
went ahead
you?
and remembered what I was doing.
So historically,
While you're undressing a dog.
I remember.
historically, as it relates to your specific Goliath sect, there was a time when a number of individuals split off and began worshiping Atma, and their attempt to do so, or their desire to do so, was for them to be more warring and raider-like. But your prime faction of the I can't remember the name of the Goliaths. Blood something. What's the name of your Goliath?
Bloodstone, blood. It was the mountain, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Blood rock, blood.
Bloodrock, that's what it was. The
Hey.
Bloodrock Goliaths. They were not fans of that, and also did not want to have people hating their community in Levidia and Western Levidia. So they had a bit of a civil war against the Atma worshippers.
Yeah, Atma's just a lot of stories, guys.
Good. Thought we were dealing with something real bad.
So looking at the
Do we-
space, you have the massive thing in the middle. There's three strange things off to the side. The sand flowing from above. And you were going to ask a question, Joseph.
I was gonna ask if the Lodestar was reacting in any way to all of this.
It is thrumming. That is,
I wanted to ask too as I was approaching.
that is the best word to describe it. It is thrumming. If you touch it,
Rubbing.
it's like, yeah, it is on full gonna get detected by TSA kind of situation, right? Like it is
Also, I'm made of
going in.
ooze, so I'm just fully rippling.
Bodhi just sits on it.
it's like in my hand. Like I've basically swallowed it.
I've seen this anime before.
You guys gotta try this.
Whoa. I love the image.
Not so not.
Funny joke. But anybody have anything that they wish to do or ask about the scene? As Uther helps Ezekiel get.
Is he not naked yet?
It's going to be 16 minutes.
With help?
Yeah, he's in full plate. It's 8 minutes normally, and he also is moving around a broken and destroyed limb. So,
Andy's sick.
For me to undo his buckles for him is double time.
are you proficient with heavy armor?
Light medium shield.
Correct. So you're not
All right,
proficient
I'll
with
just
the
cut
armor.
the straps.
It would have taken.
Fix them.
Oh, if you want to ruin the armor, you can get it off in 4.
He's just gonna die anyway, right? So what's the matter?
Yeah, but he's
But
not
when he rebuilds his body, he'll need his armor again.
We'll get him a new one.
a new set of
Hey,
armor.
I paid a lot for this
Rubber
armor, actually.
Okay, so Ezekiel,
Fucking
are
Uther.
you going to let him just tear your armor apart?
No,
as he's-
that's the whole reason I'm taking it off instead of jumping in right now.
Fuck it, I'm
The,
bored. I'm leaving.
the satellite orbs. One is broken.
Go hang out on top of my ladder and look at this orb
Yeah, I'm
again.
gonna go.
Okay, so
Hey,
everybody
Let's
besides
ponder the orbs.
besides
second.
Jeremy
This dog.
and
Hold
Brent,
on.
let's do with them real quick.
Brent's trying to take his shoe off with one hand.
Not so
He's
easy.
sitting on the ground and he can't hold himself up. Oh, he's all hurt.
So Sanat,
yeah.
you make your way around to the broken one.
I'm gonna do a thing as well.
Okay.
I'm mentioning I'm not gonna have anything to do with this stupid bullshit.
It
Yes,
looks
I want
like porcelain that has similar markings to the pearl in the center. It looks like the interior is just a veining of clockwork material, strange looking spirals and shapes. It's basically filigree to its nth degree. If you're a Magic player, Kaladesh is a very sound understanding for what you're kind of looking at inside of this orrery, inside of this orb. But you see symbols on the orb and also kind of on the rings around it that make you understand that this is keyed religiously. It looks like this symboling determines that this specific device is denoted to the goddess Aloane of the Warring Triumvirate. It appears to be bleeding oil, but the oil is a gold color, like golden, like it has a shimmer to it.
It's cold.
I love cold. So Nix, you were doing what?
I'm gonna use the DOS flute to cast levitate
Okay. On who?
on Ezekiel.
Okay. For Ezekiel, you can resist it
Why am I getting levitated?
because he's
Because
putting
we don't want you to kill yourself.
So you're gonna make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, he's good. Aces. Watch him.
Oh, I
13
failed.
is not successful. 15 is the DC on the DOS. So you are thrown up into the air. 20.
And it
feet?
says on my turn I can move it, so I'm gonna on however long it takes for each turn, I want to move it closer to where we are.
So incorrect. You can change the altitude. You cannot
But,
move him.
You can change the target. If you are the otherwise you could use your action to move the target, which must remain within the spell's range.
As
Up
if it were
or
climbing.
down.
It says if you are the target, you can move up or down. Otherwise, you could use your action to move the target.
Otherwise, you action to move the target, which
So what
must
does that
remain
mean?
within the spell's range. Oh, I guess. Very interesting.
Doesn't that seem to suggest that,
That-
you can move it back
That
and forth?
wording is strange.
Yeah, it is.
No,
But
And
the
it's
second part does leave it open-ended.
I'm going to go ahead and say because the nature of levitate in all of D&D history, it's you can move yourself and also the object 20 feet. That's fine.
I'm gonna move him
Ezekiel away
closer
from
to me. Yeah, and do I get a sense of like how much blood he's losing? Is he gonna bleed out soon?
No. Just narrative beat.
Okay. Okay.
Mommy Rot fixed it.
Yeah, it almost looked like his stump is like a sausage, right? Like it kind of, and it's just like dripping a bit.
He's absolutely fighting the urge to chew that off.
Balloon knot.
Are you mad at me,
Okay.
Ezekiel?
I mean, I'm just gonna wait till it ends and go back in.
You played Borderlands, right, Brent?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just sirened your ass. He said, "Whoop doo."
Don't be like, help me out here. We need to convince him the next 10 minutes.
Bodhi, you're doing a
Oh.
thing.
So the orb, the other orbs,
Yeah, you have religion trained, so you'll automatically recognize as you pass the one on the right.
I
and-
do not have religion trained.
Oh.
Yeah,
Then
no.
go ahead and make a religion check as you pass the
I'm
first
just
one.
looking at. I'm just looking at a cool circle.
Yeah, you're actually
16.
sufficiently competent in religion enough to know the actual
For once.
deities that exist or that are presumed to exist. The Warring Triumvirate. That one on the far left, looking at it from here, Aloane, goddess of life
He
and
said
death.
Halloween, yeah.
The one that you're looking
I'm looking at the
here,
northernmost.
Atavius, god of order and bedlam, or law and chaos, and the one that Uther is near, Ashtar, good and evil.
Oh, this works.
Quick question. The room we're standing in. I just looked over. That door, is it the same door we were standing on the other side?
It
Does
is.
this passage
Yeah.
go around it?
Yeah,
Cool.
that's what he said. Like the wall was like destroyed.
Real nice temple, boys. Jesus.
I was
Not
sure I
really
was going to
got
be
this.
a code breaker.
He deserves to be desecrated.
How does it appear the Aloane orb was damaged? Does it look like,
Oh.
I don't know, something fell into it? Does it look
Yeah, it looks like
maliciously done on purpose?
it looks like something fell on the top of it. Correct.
Okay.
And as you
This
kind of
place
move over
is
to-
kind of falling apart.
Yeah, as you kind of move over to inspect it, you kind of have like a little bit of a jump. As you hop over and land and kind of start making your way over to Sanat, everybody sees
Sure.
the pulse happen from its source at this point. It would come from the center orb. It exits outwards, and as it passes through you, you watch as your friends' souls kind of push out of their bodies, kind of clinging on, and you can all feel the desperation as your souls are being splintered from your bodies, and then you kind of snap back into your bodies. And when you do so, it's literally blackout, and then kind of like coming to consciousness. So everybody who was standing is kind of like dropping to a knee, or kind of like, wobbly in your kind of standing posture.
Do I
Yeah,
need
they
to
got a
make a
floating ladder.
Constitution saving throw for the spell?
Correct.
Okay.
Pokemon
boy.
hover
This
and hill
could
above
be
a
Funny
Yeah.
/ horrible. 4.
You fall Brent, about 20 feet. Go ahead and roll 2d6.
As if,
When the spell ends, the target floats gently to the ground.
Fine!
yeah. You watch it, mister.
Fine.
You
I would just go-
re-levitate once in
I
a while.
I was trying to create a paradigm where Andy accidentally killed Brent and felt bad about
That
it.
would
I
have
was
been
like,
really funny,
if he
but
had
you
him,
didn't get it.
if he had him hovering over like
would've
the
been alright.
big gap in the floor, it would have been hilarious because he would be
Oh, I
floating.
would have
but-
felt so bad about
Floating
that.
forever.
Gently
Floating
floating
down.
to the bottom of an abyss.
I'll see you guys later.
We're just watching.
Never seen again.
Oh yeah, we don't have a rope long enough for this.
The other thing you will note is as it passed through you, the echoing of that person's voice kind of sounded throughout everybody with the pulse in this room. So, Atma, please entreat me with the voice of the guy, the King of Six, the guy you talked to, the mummy man. But you also hear what sounds like, and very hard to decipher, but hundreds, if not thousands, of voices that kind of echo as well.
This is just confirming Ezekiel suspecting he needs to get in there.
What?
This is just confirming Ezekiel's thought that he needs to get in there.
He's hooked on Doom. Do we... The soul well, is it getting any reaction from the outer orbs, or is it strictly as I'm approaching the center?
As you look at it and kind of focus on it, you do note that there's no visual location where a soul well is
Okay.
present, but that lodestar is keying as if there is a soul well, like it became one.
Like
it-
we're in one somehow.
right. Exactly.
Can I try to access a soul well
Okay.
like I
Um,
normally would?
It seems to be leading you. Feels like almost like a magnetism that seems to be drawing you towards the center. You can follow it or withhold, or like pull yourself back from it. But
Let me get you.
as you kind of try and kind of connect it to a soul well like you normally do, it feels like it's moving towards the center of the space.
Give me like
Similar
15
when
more
they're at the
minutes. I
tower.
got this armor off. I got
Two
you.
people at the same time. I got Ezekiel. What did you say, Jeremy?
Similar to the tower. Didn't it fly from their hand to activate that?
That was a bit more forceful. This is a little bit more of like a light
Coaxing.
kind of coaxing.
I'll drop my gear. I'll approach the center slowly.
Holding the
No,
lodestar.
we gotta go together. Wait on me.
Okay.
I don't take 20 minutes to undress, but
As you kind of get
Like,
closer, it
It
feels
just
like
like lights out of it.
I basically slip out of the pant leg.
as you get closer, it feels like the draw is more heavy. If you were to relinquish it, let go of the lodestar, it would be flung from your hands, you believe. Like, it's not ripping it right out of your hand, but it feels like if you were to let it go, the draw is powerful enough at this point, it wouldn't fall due to gravity. It would continue on towards the center as you get up the stairs.
I don't like doing it,
I haven't dressed yet.
but
Can
I'll
I go
toss
help
it
him?
towards the center.
You let it go. It
Yeah.
floats towards the center. As it bypasses the orrery, it looks like for a moment it's kind of coated in magic, not too dissimilar from kind of the blue hue of the spirit. And you're kind of like, oh, it's going to disappear. It's going to get burned into dust.
Game
It-
over, boys.
It
They're
does, it does not. It touches against the side of the pearl, and the two almost like change natures, solid states that become liquid instead, merging at one point. It almost looks like a drop of like dark dye into like a light fluid or a clear water, and the pearl starts to kind of coalesce with the gray tone of the lodestar, which slowly and indifferently changes to like a bright, glowing spiritual blue. It encapsulates the entirety of the pearl for about a minute as you all kind of stare in curiosity, and then it dissipates back to its regular color and shaping. It pulses one last time. Your souls feel like they're kind of being ejected out of their bodies once more, but you're able to kind of cling to the tethers. And then once you've done that, you feel that you are in the presence of an active soul well, without a lodestar.
Lovely.
Can I attempt to access it?
In reply, you hear a voice, one you've never heard before. Boom. Seems to detonate throughout the entirety of the space. And it says, "Free me."
Genuinely, it said, what did it say?
Free me.
Free, okay. You are Atma?
The reply, "Free me."
Say pretty please.
What put you here?
It says it again, but this time when it does it, the pulse happens, and I need everyone in the room to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy.
9.
I got inspiration for you, buddy.
3 and a critical fail.
Maybe pass that off.
How many inspirations do we have?
I have a I can give.
We have 2 inspirations. If you want to burn them, you can save everybody from the effect. Otherwise, somebody's gonna get. It's gonna happen to somebody.
That's fine. I'll use mine.
Okay. Then you're using yours as well, Brent?
Yep.
Okay. So you feel your souls pushed out of your bodies. This is the harshest it's felt since the pulsing has happened. It was almost like it was an aggressive press against you instead of the last pulses. And as your souls kind of pull out of your bodies, you kind of have to swim back to them, in essence, to kind of get to them. The DC was 18, so success for everybody. And the word "free me" kind of lingers with you and echoes, seemingly, like the voices once did before.
I wouldn't know what it expects me to do as far as the action to free it.
Just do it.
As you dwell on that doubt and you dwell on
Come
that
on.
concern, you feel images placed in your head. You see yourself with a bludgeon, some sort of just kind of object that you don't think you have amongst your group, but it doesn't seem like it's important. It's almost like referential to like a bludgeoning weapon. And you can see you breaking all of the orbs on the exterior. And as you kind of take that into effect, you realize that the only reason it's probably able to even breach the veil is because of the damage that's been done to the one.
Is this the thing that I have the scrying orb from, or
No, that's a different
Scrying
evil
orb was-
god.
oh, okay?
Is
Was
the,
like, but
deep lady of the deep?
Correct.
It was a
We
different
don't-
god, yeah.
We do not know what this is.
oh, okay.
The presumption is that this is Atma, but you don't know that for certain.
True. And we already kind of did set up free that Illithid god thing. 'Cause I remember dying for that. And
It was just an
missing my first sword.
Ulitharid, and he
Yeah, he
was
wasn't a
Oh, okay.
god.
I
He
thought
was
he was a
just
god thing, okay.
he was uppercase bad guy, but this is
He
Yeah.
wasn't even a bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, the only downside to his whole thing is I missed out on a cursed sword I could have got. But
It's his fault that Ratacorda falls.
that was the one
so
downside.
You kind of got rid of all of the Illithids in the region, so great job.
hey,
What were the orbs made of again?
Porcelain.
The outermost? Porcelain?
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about the orbs on the outside of the circle, right? Not
The
Yeah,
ones
the
that are
three.
indicative of the triumvirate, yeah.
Does everybody else like see the same vision I do, or is it
Just you.
trying to speak directly to me?
Oh, never mind. Then I wouldn't walk over there. Sorry.
I'll announce. They're aware it's saying "free me."
Yeah, that is very audible, yes. The visions
Yeah.
were not.
Whatever this thing is, it demands we smash these orbs and set it free.
And again, you can hear Bodhi from the center, but again, to make sure we understand, and I don't have an audio effect, and it probably would have been droning and annoying, but the sand is continuing to crash down. It is very, very loud. It's just constant.
This whole place is collapsing?
No, it's just there's rivers of sand that appear to be kind of coming from the ceiling.
Okay. Well, it seems like these are going to break eventually anyway.
Perhaps.
The way this place is...
Yeah.
The way the one on the left seems to have gone. Youth or Silas, I'll leave it up to you.
I don't see any other way. We either leave this building now, or we do something with it to keep it moving forward.
I don't think we leave this building.
Then we break them and we see what happens.
Why couldn't we leave the building?
That thing's gonna yell free me again, and I don't think we're gonna make it twice.
So Nyx is gonna do a
oh.
sharp note on one of them.
Bodhi, make an insight check.
What's its range?
I mean, it was hitting us outside of the thing, and I don't think we have enough time to get out of the.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a 4. That's a
You believe everything you just said a second ago, despite us out of character knowing it is completely wrong.
Out of character, what?
You cut off.
Zach, I think knows what I'm saying, right, Zach?
I'm incorrect in that we could run away.
You're incorrect in
But
saying
you
that
don't
you
believe
can't
that
run away.
you cannot run away. We can't run
No,
away.
no. Let's make sure we understand the measure of it.
I
Bodhi
was like, you
thinks
cut
that,
out when you said it. so
Bodhi
that's why
thinks
we
that
were-
you can't run away. That is Zach's
That's what I said.
perspective. I'm saying that is false. The
I
reason,
understand, but he feels that
yes,
way.
correct. Bodhi is scared and is not certain that he's going to be able to get out of here with his body, and your bodies with you souls tethered.
We're never getting our lodestar back, though, right? That's gone.
It
Seems to be.
I was like, so if we don't,
Maybe.
It got 8 by that.
Yeah,
I
let's just
pull out
dip.
my axe. Walk over to the porcelain ball,
Okay. Which one?
the one that I'm by.
Okay.
the top.
And you're just going to attack it?
I'm looking at everyone else, and
Do it.
if
Do it.
I vote no.
So
I vote yes.
why do you
Any
vote no?
Brent Joseph action?
Yeah, I need more
Because
votes.
we've unleashed a lot of evil on the worlds.
I think Ezekiel's still getting his armor off.
Yeah. What? Would
He
it be faster
finally
for me
hit the
just to
ground.
stop and leave it on, or?
Actually, looking at the time, yeah, it's off, by the way, Ezekiel. You're
Okay,
you're in your base
finally.
clothings.
This
I
thing's
can
been
move
down here
around,
this
heck yeah.
long. It needs all 3 of them broken, and nobody knows that it's here.
I love
We
the chat.
we
Live a
can't get outta
little.
here.
Just do it.
We can get out of here. We go back the way we came
we will.
in.
We're not
will
going to
live
make it
a
out with
very
our
little
bodies,
amount of time.
Cody said. He's our magic guy.
No, he's not.
I don't know
just-
things.
It's a
Scared
Nazi
of the-
magic guy.
You've seen me be decidedly wrong so many times.
We got
Bodhi is our coward guy.
we got an Eladrin.
I'm not a coward guy. I'm just often wrong and beat up. I'm pretty brave, all things considered.
All right, you're a brave boy.
Can
I
I
am the
insight
team's
check to
Krillin.
see if we can
Don't
get the
tell
fuck
him he's
out?
not brave. Punch it, Silas. Just do it.
I'm swinging on it. I attack it.
Okay. You hit it, it breaks. Inside, you see the gold filigree and kind of metalwork. It seems to have been spiraling and moving, but as your blade hits the gold, you can see the gold break, like gold is the wont to do, right? It's not like a clean kind of shattering, it's kind of like a bend and then kind of tearing, right? You kind of smash into the machinery of it and kind of pull the blade away, and as you do, gold fluid starts to eject from it. For a moment, you see kind of a pulse of gold energy inside, and in the interior, you're kind of confused by what seems to be at the heart of it, the core of it, the middle bit of it. There appears to be a bit of flesh in there, almost heart-shaped. It stops moving. All of the machinery. on the
And
inside
there
of
wasn't
the orb.
one in this one.
Um,
You
All
went
machinery
through-
stop moving.
So the one that's over there, the hole's on the top, right? So it's kind of broken upwards, like something fell on top of it. So you can't really look into it in the same way that he is able to look into the orb he just broke because he hit it on the side. He's creating the hole visible to him there. No one's able to look up and over
Okay.
into the device that's already broken, the Allowane orb.
All machinery is stopped.
That, no. So there's two orbs. They're not spinning or anything, or at least they're not spinning in a fashion that's visible or detectable to the eye. The one on the left is broken. Was when you came in. The one that he just swung on appears to be broken, and the interior mechanism which he exposed by breaking the porcelain shell stops moving after the wound is kind of rent.
If I'm able to, I'll break this one when he breaks
Nope.
that one.
As soon as he smashes the other one, I'm leaving. Fuck this place.
Just throws his hands up. No! Leave. Taking the ladder with you?
No, fuck the ladder at this point. I'm out. I'll take the dash action.
Alright, Uther's running.
Second that motion.
Silas, I need you to make a charisma saving throw. That felt really good. That felt so good. Like you have ate divine food. You have had wonderful experiences of euphoria in combat, but nothing ever once in your life compares to the feeling of breaking that.
Okay, so I'm just going to point out what's going to happen here, and I'm going to read from my character sheet. My flaw is I'm never satisfied with what I have. I always want more. I'm going to run after the other one and try to break it.
Ezekiel,
Very
you see Uther in the.
silently.
Once that happens, Silas started that, and as he's kind of like head tilted down, like thinking about it, Uther's leaving.
Yeah.
Sanat, you're leaving as well.
Yeah, I said I second that motion.
Bodhi,
I've pretty much surrendered. I'm just here in the center.
Nyx,
Nyx is gonna look at Silas.
I'm not focused on you. I'm hungrily looking at the next thing to break now. If he says it feels that good, yeah, I'm going after it.
Fine, he'll leave with the others.
Alice need another change of pants.
so Ezekiel, you see him kind of turn in your direction, and with a look of kind of just carnal desire, looking at the orb that you're standing near, that you were thinking about breaking but weren't certain of. It's definitely a change of.
Silas.
Yeah, Insight 10 would tell you that that is definitely not Silas under his own kind of control. So whether or not you wish to stop him or let him have at it is up to you.
I'm very injured and missing an arm. I don't think I'm stopping Silas, especially not without my armor on.
Okay.
That ladder will
So,
slow him down.
So by the point that Silas kind of moves quickly over to that point, I would say Uther, you've made it into the hole. Sanat, you're basically where Uther is currently. And Nyx, you probably left at about the same time as Sanat, so you're just a couple feet behind him due to just, you know.
I have a 40-foot movement speed.
No, I know, but you were sitting there for a second, like
fine.
experiencing the good.
Making sure. Yeah.
It wasn't like,
There
oh,
was a
and then
refractory period.
gotta go.
Don't worry.
Yeah. There was definitely like you climaxed a bit, like not in a sexual sense, just in like a euphoric state kind of sense, and then
Agree to disagree.
all right, maybe it was sexual. I mean, okay, let's make it sexual.
Would I have had
like
enough
sex.
time to made it to where Bodhi is? Or close to Bodhi?
If you are leaving, once you
Oh, I'm
see,
not leaving. I'm just going over to where Bodhi is.
Oh yeah, sure. You can get to Bodhi. Then about the time you get there, that would be about the time Silas is kind of turning his attention over that way, kind of like fully getting ready to go, right? So you'll be there kind of right at the door as it's, or right at the gate side as it's happening. As he moves towards it, there is another pulse. Nobody needs to make saves, because as it passes through you, you can feel that it's not pushing. It's pressing. It seems to be kind of forcing you into yourself. And you can hear the voice of the thing kind of almost exclaiming, "Yes!" like ecstatically. So to Silas, to Jody, I put it to you. You have everything that you have on you. You know the feeling. You know the sensation. But I'm not going to force you to do anything because it's not driving you to do it.
If it's not driving me to do it, then I can at least chill out.
You kind of
But
rush forward. You hear the voice of it say yes. You kind of stop for a second thinking about it. The feeling, the lingering sensation of that euphoria still sits with you as you kind of battle it and grapple with it. As you take some moments, Uther, you manage to get outside to the gate, the broken gate. Sanat, you're probably about 30 or so feet behind that, and the Dromite's probably right behind, 10 feet or so behind Sanat.
All my actions are dash actions.
Oh, yeah. So if you're running, then yeah, Sanat,
Yeah, I'm
you're gonna,
booking
you're
it.
gonna
I
get,
should be here.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna get lost behind. Yeah, Uther, you're probably at the door actually. If you're running.
I've been counting. I'm where I am.
Yeah. We're not going round by round because there's definitely times between. Silas is taking time, like it's more than 6 seconds thinking about it,
Okay,
experiencing
then
it.
yeah, I'm just
You're
booking
the
it.
fuck out of there. Sanat is slowly making his way, their way out, and then the Dromite likewise.
Yep.
Okay. Bodhi and Ezekiel, you sit there with it, watching. Silas seems to be struggling at this orb over here on the right.
Be a chase.
Oh, Silas is over there already.
Yeah, he would have like ran over to it, and then the pulse would have happened, and he would have kind of stopped midstream. He would have made it to the orb, kind of holding the weapon in one hand, kind of dropping it to the side, and kind of like looking down, thinking about it. Again, for you, Chody, the sensation has filled you, right? And then it kind of drained out of you. You know what it felt like, but then there's this kind of like almost creepy vibe of the pulse and the kind of press of your soul back into your body that comes when it ejects outwards, and it seems to be liking it. So it's not just you that enjoys it as well. We are having sex, Jody.
Oh my god.
I'm joking. I'm sorry. It's a dumb joke. I apologize for being. Fuck you,
Great.
Zach, for your comment in the chat.
No, I had an idea.
Oh, you want to edge it?
Kinda.
Is that the plan?
Is the Dromite hanging back, or did Andy forget
He's
to
no.
move?
Nope. Out.
Okay.
How'd you
Yeah,
get
fuck
over
this
there?
guy. He
Oh.
doesn't get what he wants. I'm gonna cast my favorite spell. Vortex Warp, twinned. Both my boys. I'm shooting them as far out that door as I can see.
Okay.
Oh, is this door open now?
No.
No, over here.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm just yelling, run.
There.
That's the last of my sorcery points.
I need both Silas and Ezekiel there.
Can we resist it or no?
Oh yeah.
Rather you didn't.
Con saves. Both of you could resist it easily enough. Okay.
Okay.
Ezekiel says no.
Well,
Ezekiel's whole idea was he has an idea of going in this, so he's dead set. He just took his armor off. He ain't getting it back on, and there's no
Okay.
soul well, and being a
I-
soul is not fun for him. So
I would think I would be kind of dazed, not thinking much, so I wouldn't resist it too much.
Whoosh. Then go ahead and get sent. Further. Yeah, you're all the way over here.
you should be down here-ish. Oh, if I could see into the tunnel, hell yeah, 90 feet from me.
Yeah, you can see into the tunnel enough. You kind of have like a little bit of a drop off because of the elevation. He's looking at
Sure.
the ceiling.
Way over here in this
It's
side
dark.
tunnel.
Yeah, 60 feet
Yep.
from Bodhi. It's a person within 60 feet of Bodhi
Is it
goes
60?
to a place within 60 feet of Bodhi. Yep, should be.
Oh,
Is it
no, it's
90?
90.
Well,
I-
I'm pretty sure 60 is all you can see, actually.
I
I
can
can't
see a square further.
I'm in dark.
All right,
I'm
all
just in
right.
complete darkness. I can't see anything.
Oh, right, you don't know how to see good.
Yep, I don't know what's
You
going
don't
on.
have
I don't
dark
know where
vision?
I'm at. Nope.
Yeah, because the
Oh,
goggles
Keep
got
running
lost.
away from my voice.
Smack into a wall, falls unconscious.
Hell yes, he will.
Put your hand on a wall and start walking briskly.
For Ezekiel, you resist the throw from Bodhi. The orb in the center starts to move slowly, and as it's doing so, flickers of blue light come across the etchings on the exterior of the pearl. At certain points on the pearl and in that filigree, you can see it break. Not like massive breaks, but like small cracks. Like an egg being opened from the interior.
Okay. I'm going to.
You don't
So
have your armor
is-
on. You are
Yeah.
totally just in your, base clothing.
I'm going to go over to like my pack and stuff and
Yeah.
just kind of pick up my tinderbox and can I throw it into it to see if it still has the same effect or
Yep.
is it like more solid now?
The second the tinderbox passes through the orrery, sand.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure it still did the same thing. It didn't do something different. I'm gonna look to Bodhi and be like, well, I honestly just think we should open it because it looks like it's cracking anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if it needed all three or if we just expedited what had already begun.
That's my thought process. Is maybe 2 is enough for it, and it's just going to take a little longer. In which case, maybe freeing it might get us a little bit of good grace in the fact that we did, expedited it instead of having a possible thing that doesn't
Yeah.
like us
So
way
as
later on.
you're standing there, it doesn't look like the cracks are like massive, right? It's not a it's a very large surface you're looking at. Sure,
Yeah.
they're very
Airline.
Yeah, very hairline, very small, very finite, and they don't appear to be webbing. Like it's very much just like a small couple of like punctures, right? Or like little hairline scratches. Your thought process is a reasonable one, but I'm going to cut to the exterior. You make it out into the tome area, and then I'm assuming you then go back through the trapped region, which you've already defended, and can make your way outside. You're running though, Uther. You're just gunning it, right?
I am stopping at the portal of the stairs. I know someone was behind me. I don't know how far back they are. I'm gonna give it like a 20 count, and then I'm slamming the door.
As you're standing there and waiting, you would see Sanat kind of coming up out of the stairs,
I'll wait for him.
and then out comes.
Is there
Nyx.
anyone else?
Out comes Nyx.
Is
And
there anyone
then,
behind you guys?
Nyx, make a perception check. Silas, make a perception check. If you are
This is
doing what
important.
if you are doing what you were told, Chody, I need you to make a perception check.
God damn it. Critical fail.
This is underground. I'm going to give you advantage.
Oh, 23!
This is where Dromites are from.
23.
And Silas, are you doing what you were told by Bodhi and you're leaving, or are you remaining?
I would do what I'm told, but it would definitely be slow because I'm
Yeah,
trying to
obviously.
figure out what's going on.
Your
I'm
perception is
confused.
15, though. You're able to kind of suss it out. And Nyx, you heard what happened because you were kind of toward the back. You heard it enough to understand that Silas is on his way out. So as you come up after Sanat, you know that Silas will be up in just a few moments.
I would be like shouting that to Uther.
Don't.
Then I'll wait.
And then once
If you guys can use your action to light a torch, maybe it'll help him.
once Silas is out,
If we know he doesn't have dark vision,
Once-
if you can help him.
Silas is out. Silas, you say what you again. You would have saw what happened, right? You would have saw Ezekiel resist the vortex ward.
I would say Ezekiel's holding him up. He's not wanting to come.
I'm closing the door.
You're pushing the sarcophagus back into place?
Yep.
Okay. Back inside. Currently the most important part. Ezekiel, you said you
Mhm.
grabbed your pack, you took out your tinderbox, you threw it in, just kind of flippantly to see what happened. Bodhi, you
Yep.
watched in no amazement whatsoever as it disintegrates into sand.
Seen that trick before.
Yeah,
See-
felt it.
You should try it hands on.
Damn, dude, fire hot.
No pulses. Nothing. You then both have a vision that kind of emanates into your head. You're both dead, and it's almost like a speed track of your bodies decomposing. And during that time, it's kind of a perspective of the last orb. and you don't know how long it is, but your bones lay there for a few moments during your vision, or a few minutes, or however long, and you see a massive rock slam onto the last of the orbs, and then you watch the center orb glow blue, and then the vision fades.
Yeah. Ezekiel's gonna go over here with his sword, and I'm gonna go big just for insurance purposes.
Bodhi, again, you watch him stridently grab his sword off the ground with his shield hand, and as he's walking that way, kind of muttering the runes as he turns large and moves towards it with a purpose. Do you wish to stop him?
No. Just as a favor to him. I'm gonna cast Enlarge on him.
Jesus Christ.
Extra big bully.
The
I'd
big,
rather
So,
I'd rather he
you
had
can't
gotten
be
out
under
of
the
here.
same effect. You can't be under the same
I've been
effect
alive
twice,
too
right?
long.
it's not enlarge the spell that you're casting, so it's not the exact same effect.
No, I was asking because I also have enlarged as an
No,
ability.
yeah, you can't enlarge. The spell enlarge cannot be cast on you twice. No.
Gotcha.
Until
I
it's
just wanted to make
made
sure.
What's that?
I
Jeremy?
thought
So, until it's made permanent.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Gotcha. No, I got it from that whenever we met that giant statue. So
Yeah,
I
you
just
can do
wanted to
it
make sure.
yourself. But you're the biggest boy. You just stridently step across the space in between, landing on the other side, walking over to it. Your sword, the Maleficer, in your hand, looking at it. It's really good at breaking constructs. In fact, it was made to do this very thing. It's almost like I didn't plan this. I didn't. It's poetic, but at the same time, I don't know why we're here. You ready? Oh wait, yeah, I do. I put you here. You raise your sword up. Bodhi, you watch from a distance. Ezekiel, you bring the blade down.
Yep.
It
Slide it
strikes
down into it.
similarly to how Silas struck it. You watch as the porcelain breaks. The gold filigree underneath takes it, breaks like metal is wont to do. Gold, like malleable metal is wont to do from a stroke like that. And you see inside the heart pulsing, the thing moving, and then all of the gearwork stops. Once it does, the orb in the center glows entirely blue. More hairline cracks kind of feature across it, and then the filigree of the interior orrery starts to move with speed. There was always a sense that it was moving already, but it very much felt like it was moving at a much slower pace, like an almost like cosmic level pace, like it was going very slow durationally. Going to pause at that moment to revert back to the outside. Uther, once you have everybody up and you've sealed the thing, does anybody wish to engage with Uther at that point? Obviously, you understand the gravity of what just happened. Uther just sealed those two inside of that crypt with whatever that was.
Maybe they were coming. Maybe.
Maybe they made their choice. Maybe it made it for them. Either way, we have to get outside to the plane and evacuate that city that's not very far from here now.
Silas, were they coming?
No, the dog wanted to die, and Bodhi tried to help, and he wouldn't listen.
We have no lodestar. We have no team leader. But those people don't deserve what's probably coming. And I'm going.
Uther heads out.
Either catch up or stay forever.
Sanat, you hear the words that Uther states in reply to Nyx's, attempt to find out what's happening. You heard Silas's declaration that they were remaining. What do you do? Do you follow Uther or do you remain?
I guess I'm gonna go with Uther, and I'll mention that that city of people is not gonna listen to, like they'll listen to me as an Eladrin, not they kind of were harsh against others before, so maybe I can convince them to leave. I don't know.
There's definitely a
Yeah,
hope.
a handful of them respected our mark at the very least.
Yeah.
There's a hope. There's a hope there. There's a desire to help and do good. Okay, Silas, you say what you said. You know your friends are still down there. Do you wish to continue out, or do you wish to remain?
No, once I said it, I was like, the dog
Whoosh.
wanted to die.
And then turned and
Time to
followed
keep
you there.
going.
Nix.
Yeah,
Everything-
Nix would just sort of mutter to himself, we have to honor their choice, and then go forward with the others.
Bodhi, there's a moment as the orb in front of you kind of glows blue and kind of starts to crack where you feel like this is the first thing that you've ever kind of encountered that you don't feel like has been done to you before. There's a strangeness to this that kind of hits different. You gave Bodhi his agency, something that was stripped from you thousands of times. And what he did with it was make a choice that seems to have created.
Gave Ezekiel.
What? Oh, did I say what did
You
I
said
say?
his own name.
Oh, god damn it! I did it.
Yeah, I'm very confused.
You
now.
gave Ezekiel agency, which is something that's been stripped from you 1,000 times. And what Ezekiel did with that agency seems to have been create an effect that you're not
Yes.
sure you're going to move past. Ever again. There's
I
a
just experienced free will for the first time.
there's a finality here in this moment that you're just confused by, right? I mean, you've been alive for a very long time, and this all is happening very suddenly. Ezekiel, as you strike it, there's no feeling that's different to you. There's no elation. There's no momentary kind of grasping of, like, you know, what you did was the correct choice. There's just this quiet. And you realize that it's entirely quiet. And Bodhi, this is something you've been processing for these moments as Ezekiel's performed the master stroke and is standing there kind of effectively over, because he's so fucking huge, over the orb. The sand is locked in time. It's no longer moving. It's completely stationary. There is no sound. The orb still glows blue. It still seems that it's breaking slowly but surely. The egg is cracking, fracturing, ending itself. And we'll cut back to the outside. And I do hate to do it to you, but that might be the last time you see your characters. So, on the exterior, once you breach out of the tome and move onto the bank where the craft is located, there is a sensation that ripples across the sands and kind of moves throughout the space. It's almost as if someone grabbed Urz itself and shook it while you stood on it. The sands jut outwards from that location. You make it to your craft, and you begin to board it, now with a bit more urgency than you had before. And as you do so, you look to the tome that you just were inside, and you watch as the massive stones that are peeking out of the mound of sand start to push inwards. And everything sand-wise starts to collapse towards it. I'm going to have Nix make a pilot air vehicles check.
Ha! We used up all our inspiration,
Oh,
right?
you sure did.
Oh man, here we go.
Uther could back him up. He's learned to fly somewhat, right?
Yeah, I piloted on the way over.
Yeah, you can assist, so advantage.
Okay.
The two of you are basically just like, go, 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 go. Uther very much in a go, go, go mentality.
25.
You get onto the vehicle. Silas kind of like, you know, grasping on for their lives, so not like, you know, on as well. And the craft takes off just as the sand presses inwards to a point where the bank of water on the south side of the tome spills into the hole. And everything just starts to cave inwards, almost as if someone had pulled the plug on reality and all of the sand is just draining inwards. All of the water is just draining inwards. And this seems to go on for a while as you make your way skyward. Do you wish to remain in kind of like a low kind of circling to watch this happen, or do you wish to return back to the town as soon as possible?
I vote straight to the city.
Straight to the city.
Well, so I bet since I'm the pilot,
Yeah, you
I'm
kind of
gonna take one
I
circle.
vote straight to the city.
Okay, so one
I'm just
one
gonna
circle. One circle.
One
One
circle.
quick
Okay.
flyby.
In the interior of the swell and the swirl, you see something that absolutely horrifies every single one of your eye holes. It appears that there is a massive snake-like or worm-like thing inside of the swell. At the front of it, as it pierces out of the sand, you can swear that it looks like it has 3 mouths, each opening and gasping as if it was taking its first breaths of life. And you run after the first circle. And when I say gigantic, I want to make sure you understand. We all saw the tome for its size, right? You're pretty certain that the 3-mouthed worm that was swimming inside of the vortex was very much either the same size or larger than the whole of the property you were in. Just to kind of put that in perspective. Sanat, you're trained in Arcana. Go ahead and make an Arcana check. I believe we've covered this before, and you happen to be carrying something that might be important to the situation.
I mean, I knew like from what you're doing that the orb or the scrying orb or whatever had something to do with what was sealed down there, right? So
Yeah.
is it reacting at all? Like I don't know that.
Oh
it
no,
can.
it's not. It's not. It's just a
Okay.
dead. It's just a pearl with the mark
Okay.
on it. Yeah. But if your Arcana is a 15, you definitely know that it's associated with the Lady of the Deep. That you believe the thing you saw in the sands is the Lady of the Deep. A great old one, an eldritch horror that was what you presume to have been sealed away, or also out in space, but also there have been reports of it existing on the other side of the continent. Very much a strange circumstance, to be sure. I'm going to cut us to the large map, and we'll do some narrative beats from that point forward. You rush back to the town. There's a hurried agency to try and make sure the people that are present there are aware of what's happening. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Okay. They hear you with Sanat's. We got to change the person who's the token. representing.
Where are we?
All the way over here. I'll snap ping you.
The desert.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, I got to change the who it is. Oh, it's not a random one. Who's the party mascot now that Ezekiel doesn't
Not.
exist?
He's the only one people listen to, apparently.
Sanat. Okay, it's not for mascot mode. Which
Classic.
which colorway would you prefer?
I'm in winter right now, so we'll just go with that.
We'll go with
It's in
that.
morning.
Okay, so we've got our new mascot, folks. You exit out. You make it back to the town. In the span of about an hour, you're able to convince everyone that they need to retreat. There are some skyships here that are capable of maneuvering them. Where are you directing them to go?
As far as they can get.
Isn't there a
I would
Portal
say
thing?
everybody move in a different direction and tell everyone around us.
Go where you think it's safe. Tell everybody you talk to. Okay, got it. Perfect.
How far can we go in a day?
not here?
I believe it was 16 spaces, but again, we're in a narrative beat, so we're basically going to be, obviously, from this point forward, we'll be cutting into the next part of the story when we come back to Threshold, and it'll be a time or duration after this moment, okay? So I just want to make sure you understand. The narrative in between will be discussed with us at a point after the beat, but yeah, I understand what the goal here is, and I just want to make sure that that's clear. You're not trying to send them to a specific location. You're just saying go as far as you can to where you think it's safe and tell everyone you see what has happened here.
Warn every army that the great old ones are alive.
And this thing, the Lady of the Deep, has been freed from its lair. Or from its prison. Okay,
My bad.
not your fault.
It wasn't just you.
We had to have a lodestar to activate the tower, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that
For-
tower kicks ass.
For a
That
narrative,
tower.
for a narrative beat, what I will tell you is if you do make your way to Swordbreak, you will learn that the tower has been taken by another group of individuals who are not related to the conglomerate. Probably by the time you get there, about a week ago or a 6 day ago. Out of character, the Friday crew has the tower.
What?
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna find.
Did
Are
they
they
yell
gonna,
that
are they
too?
gonna get arrested?
What'd you say,
Are they
Jeremy?
gonna burn it down?
What'd you say, Jeremy?
Are you gonna yelled at like we did?
They left. They're gone. They basically their game ended with them fucking Howl's Moving Castle that bitch. Like, so we don't know. We don't know what the
I thought
repercussions
the
are.
tower
Yet.
itself didn't actually move; it just opened a door.
Yeah, cool. But there's a lot going on in that tower right now. There's they didn't activate it with the lodestar. They didn't activate it in the regular way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they find all those forbidden books that
Real
Uther
quick,
chucked in there?
Real quick note out of character. If you're paying attention to this, this is definitely stuff that people in the Friday game may not know. So if you are one of those people, close your ears, turn your eyes, avoid attention. One of the characters
they're
in
listening.
one of the characters in that party is basically divine in origin, and her essence was the thing that activated the tower. And it was her desire to not be in that place, but not her known desire to be in that place. And so the tower is now
Tell her to
hers.
watch her back in Swordbreak, because they'll threaten to burn her down.
Fair enough.
Fucking
but yeah,
zoning board.
fucking
Ooh,
no. They
where's
oh,
Flap
that
Flap?
happened, but yeah, they got away. Flap Flap is unknown. You do not know where it ended up, so you would definitely need to chase it down.
Always.
And it's not currently visible, so your presumption is it's landed. It
I would
was.
say our
It
our
was
shot
headed
would
to.
be from where we're standing to Swordbreak.
It was headed to
That'll
South
be our-
Ordris.
That would be our line. If we don't see Flap Flap on the way, we'll have to find alternate means of travel because I don't think we can spend the day to rest the airship
Yeah,
to get to Penford.
if direct travel is your goal, you'll note that there's no like. It's not like clipping at your heels or anything. You're very much faster than it appears to be, and it doesn't seem like there's any kind of directionality to it, right? You're doing what you can to get to where you can. You get to Swordbreak, you find out about the tower, you warn everybody you can, making sure that they understand. Is the goal to get this to the people in power for the conglomerate? So Penford is the goal?
I would say so.
That would
Someone
be
that
what I
can
wanna
reach
do.
Penford.
Okay.
And everybody that had the ability to send messages fucking died in a hole.
I mean,
You got
So not.
I
Bodhi
can,
had the magic chalk.
I should
The
be able
hell
to
are you
teleport
talking
there,
about?
right?
So we could mark dangerous items to get them picked up. We could have marked our own airship and he would have seen it appeared and we could have
all
talked to him.
about that.
Or you could have
That
marked
dude.
the fucking orreries.
All about that. See, this is why we gotta not do hiatus. we gotta stick to one. There's no way in hell I was gonna remember Magic Chuck.
We were focused on the narrative at that point. And I'm going to say this real quick, Zach. I'm so sorry, man.
I'm over it. I'm
Okay.
past it. I'm mad at Brett for sticking around.
I killed your character again, bro.
The way
I
the way see
I
the
could
first-
survive this. Brett's
I can
sick.
get us. I can get us there. The problem with the teleportation circle, but we wouldn't be able to take the plane.
That's
that-
fine. We don't need the plane.
That's a fair point and a fair beat, and I do want to notate it, but I definitely, we will have a lot of discussion between 55 and 56, episode 55 and 56. And also, we're going to be running something different for a little bit.
Is there an episode 56?
This isn't the end of the game. No. So, just so we understand, Threshold is just being put on hold because I want to check out other games. I'm not ending these stories. I said that several times. I'm running all 3 of these games still. Threshold has an endpoint. I just need you to be focused on the same objective, and we've got you there. We're there. We're locked in, baby. We just need to
The
do
teleportation
the thing.
circle is an option now that we have it. Then we're gonna send Sanat ahead to Penford.
Okay.
I can. Anyone
Take
can
all
go
of it.
through the portal.
Right,
You could
but
all
we
go.
will.
I'm going to stay with the plane and take it slow,
Okay.
slow ways.
Well, we will take the plane and we will stop at every major city.
you can
we
shove the
and
plane
spread
through the-
word faster.
You can shove the plane through the teleportation circle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They still want to travel
Really?
by
It's
plane.
an object.
But I mean, I
Okay.
could go, and then you guys could.
Does it have
Tell
to
more
fit
people.
inside the
Don't
circle?
objectify the
Yeah,
plane.
you just-
it's part of our team.
You just draw the circle
Well,
around it, and
yeah.
boom.
The
we're
portal.
gone.
I was like, the portal appears in the circle, so
Yeah, and then you,
Jeremy, the
you
ladder.
push
it's
the
a
fucking
10-foot
boat.
diameter circle, though.
Yeah, the
I
wings
don't
You
can
left
fold.
me no choice.
You could push that bitch through. It's going in.
You guys had a vision of a rock falling on it, and it's like, fuck it, we'll just end it earlier. You could have just put the ladder over it and protected it from the falling rock forever. Indestructible,
I don't
hovering
think,
ladder.
I don't think that's the rock.
The
I
inside
don't think
check
there's
would-
only one chance at a rock.
The insight check would have told you if you had asked, "Do I understand what it's trying to say to me?" It's saying it doesn't matter if you kill or let it out now or don't. It's
Yeah,
going.
I wanted
be
to
free.
see it.
Eventually, yeah. You guys could have beefed up security,
But yeah,
hired some dwarves that actually know construction.
I don't. It was pulsing our souls out of our body actively every
Build it out of
minute or two.
sand. It'll be safe there.
there was an assumption that Bodhi
Whoever
had.
built this shit is to blame.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely fair.
I'm mad as hell at those guys.
Fucking losers.
Disappointed in you two.
Let's bury a snake in the sand.
It wasn't. It wasn't the people who built.
He'll never get out.
It wasn't the people who built the elven structure beneath it. It was the assholes who built the fucking
Jeez,
Crumbling
one's
structure
up.
on top,
Yeah.
right?
100%. And then the shift in like ecology, right? So it was like
fucking crumbling by design.
it was a very beautiful place before, and then it desiccated.
But like
So-
the elves chose to build it underground in the desert.
Oh no, not in a desert. It wasn't a desert
It
when they
wasn't a
built it. that's
And then the cultists, remember when we first got to the room, obviously this was a very long time ago, he told us why it was a tomb now. Like, they built that on top of it to, like, seal the thing away underneath.
right.
they took it
was
from
a,
the
It was
elves.
a band-aid measure on something that
Yeah.
was already kind of fucked.
They should have had it inspected then.
Should have brought in
They put a dirty band-aid on an infected wound.
That's 100%
Well,
correct.
they put the infection in the wound first,
What?
and then
Hey,
did
I
Which
might
was
have to
the
stop it
King of
off.
Six. The King of Six was the infection, the rock.
Anyway, somebody go get
Focusing up. So,
Andy fixed for his.
Sanat,
Yep.
you teleport to
shit.
Penford with Nick. Or sorry, Nick has to pilot.
If we can take the whole plane, we'll take the whole
You
plane.
can take the
No,
whole
I
plane.
mean, if we could take the whole plane so we can get
Yeah.
fixed up then.
Fold the
Listen,
wings.
Benford, we'll work backward.
Push that bitch through. You have a minute to get everything through. If you have it tracked and ready to go, you can get it through.
I'll just carry it. It's
You
fine.
make it back to the city of Penford, and it's the first time you've been here
I
in
could
a
pulse wave
very
it through.
long time. Once you make it through the circle, a number of conglomerate associates kind of move towards you, expectantly, but kind of curiously. And then you would see that kind of striding out from behind them is Dekellis, a man you haven't seen in a long time. He's wearing his black robes, his hair immaculate, his hand kind of grasping a hold of what appears to be a rod or like short staff. When he enters into the space, he says, "I felt the severing of the connection a few days ago. What
Bad
happened?"
at me.
How did he feel a few days ago?
The lodestar disappeared from existence.
You
Yeah,
guys-
that should have been
it
like
took-
2 hours ago because we
fl-
teleportation
you
circle.
flew to Swordbreak. We got that information.
You flew to Swordbreak.
Oh,
I
okay,
had,
yeah,
I had the
fine.
long
You
rest
told
before
it-
I
It
could.
was at least
yeah,
a
yeah,
day.
that's fine.
Yeah, and I would say that you flew to Swordbreak knowing that you would get there, and then once you got there and learned that the tower was gone, which was kind of your out, right? You decided to go, okay,
Not
fuck
got a
it.
lodestar. It was just a matter of convenience that it was
Yeah.
on the path.
Yeah, and once you got there, you were kind of like, fuck it, TP circle whoosh. So that's what
And we got Nick's fixed, right?
yeah, Nyx would have been able to get a cleric to cast remove disease or remove curse. Totally fine. But you get back to Penford. Dekellis walks past the throngs of associates who've kind of taken a slightly defensive posture against you as you enter into the space with an airship. But Dekellis seems to almost already
Not the
kind
first
of
time I've
knowing.
returned without my party.
Exit out.
Yeah, we were doing fine until this one joined up.
If Dekellis was in a laughing measure, he would have laughed at that statement. But he will say to you,
I mean, I did kill them last time, not this time.
there was a severance of the connection with the Lodestar a few days ago. What has happened?
The dog got his arm severed too.
So, well, the dog is gone.
Oh, start with the important facts.
Start with inspiration, though. You
Working
get
our
it.
way up. It's called easing them into bad news.
Oh my god.
Throw a hand on his shoulder and be like, "Good job, bud. We're gonna let Sanat take over from here."
I feel like,
Right.
okay, so I told
Trying to
him,
help.
The dog then tried to undress.
through a series of very unfortunate circumstances, there's now an old one, maybe
Great
here,
old one.
an old god here, alive,
The
and
nature of the entity you speak of, the Lady of the Deep, is known to me. Its nature is a cataclysmic one. It was actually an effort of mine sending the now War Magier of the Levidian front far afield to find it and determine its nature. Fortunately, greater matters persisted in Osiria. Its presence here is something that was foretold and expected, but different. It would seem that this is a more ancient version of it that was sealed away aeons past. I am not certain whether or not it will be able to connect and tether to the power that exists, that is known as the Lady of the Deep. This is like a splintering of it, a remnant, or perhaps what we have been dealing with in modernity is in fact the remnant, the part, the piece. We will keep our eyes on this matter. But unfortunately for you, this is the last you will need to deal with it. I presume that Bodhi and Ezekiel both did not make it out of wherever it came from. Its lair.
The lady possessed them.
correct.
It
They
is
did not.
capable of controlling the minds of others. That is known.
Bodhi tried to save the last two, and Ezekiel
The lady's pull was too strong.
did not.
And your connection to the Lodestar has been severed.
The
Because
lodestar itself is gone.
And that explained everything that happened with the orb, the pearl and thing to him.
we've had a hard time communicating with you of late. I'm assuming there were no soul wells where you were. Otherwise,
Can we
Bodhi-
connect with Soulwell without a lodestone?
Yeah, you
Lode-
can't talk.
lodestar?
You can't talk to Tekelis without a Lodestar unless you're using regular traditional magic, which is
We'd
rarely
not
the
been
case.
at one in a while. The last one we found was what would ate the lodestar.
Right. The one there was not one in Panacea, which was the town that you
Yeah.
just saved.
Nor flap flap.
Nor Flat Flap, because Flat Flap's mobile. Yep.
We spent a lot of time in it.
Yeah, you've been off the Tekelis radar for a bit.
We haven't been.
Not
yeah,
no, because we
not-
have the
Eggtown.
We were-
scrying. He knows where we
Eggtown.
are.
And Eggtown. You guys talked to him in Eggtown.
And we have the marks of scrying. He can only see us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but yeah, he couldn't.
Was
see
the
you there.
the little place south of Bloodrock, that too? Wasn't that after Eggtown? Or
No,
was that
before.
Oh, okay. Eggard, you mean?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. The matters that we have to deal with,
USD that motherfucker.
the matters that we have to deal with at current are more pressing. I know that you in your mind probably see what you have seen as the most pressing matter, to be sure. However, conflict is on the rise on the Isle of Ordris. The Denisotvans are making a move. They have usurped a very ancient temple that allows them control over measures of the weather. At current, Reuben, the war magier, who you obviously do not remember because you are very forgetful individuals.
Never heard of him.
You're not even there.
Oh god.
You can't even.
Who? I want to be like, I want to listen.
Oh
Which
my
I
god!
don't know.
Corned beef sandwich, isn't it?
You can tell Zach's doing a bit when there's just this little.
I
who? It's like a little
fully,
curve on
fully
the
real,
smile.
fully real. I was typing something and I don't know who you're talking.
Reuben. He said Reuben. The person,
Oh,
every
the
time
guy-
he said
okay.
Reuben, we're
That
like,
guy
"Who the
we
fuck is
don't know."
Reuben?"
The guy we never met ever, not even one time. He
pretty
is
sure he's
currently
just
in
mean.
the city of
Corned beef
Ordris,
sandwich.
attempting to secure a stronghold position there to confront them. It is our hope that the Ordris people, are able to assist us in regards to this stronghold position. We will need time to prepare ourselves. I will need time to either secure the lodestar that your group once had that was taken by my associate.
Oh,
Oh yeah, the guy that
My-
brought Joseph to us, right?
my old one.
Yeah,
He's
your-
got a spare.
Your old one was taken by the other Magier, whose name is currently not on the tip of my brain.
I think he has our first one. We swapped him, right?
No, you kept the
No.
new one. You kept yours. You got rid of Sonat's, the one that
My group was older.
the one that they
Yeah.
were tethered
Okay.
to. It's an older lodestar. It's an old lodestar, but it checks out. We need to secure.
Hours.
Yep.
Got
need,
it.
We need to secure a lodestar. We need to ensure that you're capable of performing your tasks and duties. We may need to bolster your numbers, and you will need time to prepare. But I need you on the eastern coast of Ordris as soon as we can muster, as soon as we can make you ready. Take your
Nick
time.
says,
Where is that?
we're bringing the long arm of Velados Ordris then?
Oh, we're combating the long arms
Yeah,
by the law.
the long arm
Was it-
law.
Was it Alizar? Is that who
Alazar's
brought me?
correct. Yes, thank you for having good notes.
Womp
You can
womp.
Kevin's very.
Womp,
You
womp.
try to do a bit. DeKellis just pushes past it with like an almost
I know,
kind of
I know.
studious measure. But yeah,
Yeah, that guy hated us.
I'll edit there out of character note. So during the in between time, we will be preparing for your engagement and tracking temporally, catch up with that's pacing, and I will discuss off screen what happened with Ezekiel and Bodhi, and they can we can discuss it there. We will be picking back up with Threshold of Revelation after a fashion. It's not completely over. The same is true for Song of the Nameless. The same is true for Rush of Madness. These are stories I do wish to finish, but my main holdup is I really want to try new things, and I also want D&D 1 or D&D whatever they're calling it now to settle. We do understand that it's coming out on Roll20, so it's great. Yes, we're going to have Roll20 capabilities. We don't have to buy their VTT. We don't have to deal with all of the potential like gatekeeping we were expecting from Hasbro. So this game will continue. Thanks for watching those that did, and yeah, it'll probably be a few months before we pick back up, but when we do, we'll be doing so in full stride, and all three of those stories will be doing so with Ernest as we move towards this next narrative arc, where it'll be more relatively obvious that these three stories are connected, and you will be able to see one another in them more connectedly. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.